Hello, and welcome back to Navigating Baby Loss. I'm so glad you're here. I'm Jennifer Senn. And before we dive in, I want to say something that if you saw the title of this episode and thought about just clicking away, I'm glad you didn't, because you might be so tired of hearing about self care. I get it. The purpose of this episode is to talk about real stuff. This is not light a candle, take a bubble bath, go get a pedicure, or massage type of thing, because this is a different feeling when you are angry with your body. How do you practice self care when you are so angry and disappointed and let down by your body? Because you feel like it betrayed you. I know that's exactly how I felt. I felt like my body me. It didn't do the one thing it was supposed to do. And how was I ever going to trust it again? Say nothing about do something nice for my body. For me, self care literally was getting myself to the shower. It was putting on a little bit of mascara that I normally can't live without. It was not anything elaborate. So that's what I really want to talk to you about today is if you are angry with your body and you're angry with feeling like self-care, how do I reward this body that let me down? Today, we're going to talk about the disconnection you might be feeling from your body and what to do when you're not ready to forgive it. I'm going to share 3 practical ways you can care for your body even when you don't want to. Not because you have to love it or embrace your new body post baby loss, but because you're still here. Your body still has needs, whether you like it or not. If you want another baby, there are some things that would be really great for you to work on to embrace, forgive, and reconnect with your body. But today is going to be honest and gentle, and it's going to give you permission to take care of yourself in the teeniest ways possible without any pressure. So let's get into it. If someone has told you lately that you need to practice self care and it makes you want to scream, you're not being dramatic. You're not being difficult. It's a completely normal reaction to advice. Most self-care advice assumes that you want to care for your body, and it assumes that you just need a little reminder, a little push to do something extra for yourself. But what if you don't want to? What if the very idea of caring for your body feels wrong? After my twins were stillborn, I felt like my body had betrayed me in the most devastating way. And I was really angry. And that anger turned into a deep disconnection for a long time. I didn't want to look at my body. I didn't want to care about it. I treated it like the enemy. And then people would say to me, "Oh, you need to rest." I would think, why? Why should I take care of myself? Who cares? I took care of myself when I was pregnant, and that didn't go so well, did it? Why should it give it what it needs when it couldn't do the one thing it needed to do? But drug addicts get to have babies. So I disconnected from it. I ignored my hunger. I ignored mirrors. I stayed up late and I just moved through life. I was just in a shell. And I really remember feeling that way. And I really just didn't care. I didn't care that I was overweight. I didn't care that my body was, I was out of shape. I didn't, why would I do anything different? And that disconnection took a big toll. I had severe intestinal issues and I was in a lot of abdominal pain. And what I really knew in the middle of all that was that my grief was living in my body. For me to not take care of my body the way I should, the grief won. And until I stopped treating my body like the enemy, it's going to keep trying to get my attention. It's not going anywhere. And I was overall healthy, luckily. I realized that by ignoring my body and not caring for it, I was punishing it. I was punishing everyone in my life at that time. And I was adding more pain on top of the pain I was already feeling. I had to learn to care for it even when I was still angry with it, even when I didn't want to. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. Because if you're struggling with this or feeling that disconnection or anger towards your body, I want you to know that it's normal. And I also want you to know that it's possible to care for yourself without requiring yourself to feel positive about it. So, what is actually self care? First, self care after loss is not about bubble baths and gratitude journals and doing things that make you feel great. Because that version of self care, it doesn't really work when you're grieving. And it doesn't work if you're grieving and angry. So, the self care in this context is about survival and maintenance. It's about meeting the absolute bare minimum so that your body can keep functioning while you carry this grief. Think about it like this: if you had a car that broke down and it left you stranded on the side of the road, you'd probably be pretty angry at that car, wouldn't you? You might not want to take care of it. You're so sick of this stupid car. It never works when I need to, and you'd feel betrayed by it. But if you still need that car to get to work, to pick up your kids, to go about your life, you'd have to maintain it. You'd have to put gas in it periodically. You'd change the oil, not because you loved the car, but because you needed it just to keep going. And that's what we're talking about today: basic maintenance, survival care. This isn't going into self love, which I do love. But if you are not ready for that, this is not it. It's not forgiveness, just keeping it going. And this is not punishment. That's where you're actively harming your body out of anger. If you're in that place, I see you. There's no judgment here, but I want you to know that punishing your body doesn't bring your baby back. It doesn't make your grief lighter, and it adds more pain. If you're doing it to an extreme, please seek professional help, because that is the only thing that will help that. This is not neglect. That's when you're passively ignoring your body's needs because you just don't see the point. You're not trying to hurt yourself. You just can't bring yourself to care about it. And again, no judgment. I've been there. What we're aiming for is survival care. And that's when you meet the minimum requirements to stay functional, even when you don't want to, even when it feels pointless, because the truth is you're still here. Your body still has needs, and ignoring those needs doesn't serve you or your baby's memory. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but Jen, taking care of my body feels like I'm saying everything's fine, like I'm over it, like I'm moving on. I'm here to tell you that taking care of your body does not mean you're saying any of those things. It just means that you're still living this life and you need your body to help you get through it. That's it. So, here's what I want to give you today: the 3 practical ways to care for your body, even when you don't want to. There are 3 small things that you can try that don't require you to feel anything positive. And before I get to them, I want to mention that if any of this resonates with you, if you're struggling with anger, guilt, or disconnection from your body, I teach more about this in my free workshop. It's called Practical Ways to Release Guilt and Navigate Grief After Pregnancy Loss. And we go deeper into these exact topics. You can find all the details and register at navigatingbabyloss.com/workshop. All right, here's the 3 ways. The one thing rule. Here's what this is. Every day you pick one basic need and you meet it, even if you half-ass it. That's it. That's the whole rule. Because when you're grieving, when you're angry, when you're disconnected from your body, the idea of doing all the things you're supposed to do, which is maybe even for you, it's shower, brush your teeth, get dressed, put on makeup, put on lotion. Like, no, you're not doing all those. You're just picking one that you could do. Another trick I love to teach my clients is called Can I Just? When you're feeling this way, you can say, can I just take a 2-minute shower? Can I just wash my hair? Can I just brush my teeth? Just saying that to yourself, can I just? It's giving you a teeny tiny goal. And you ask yourself, can I just do that? Well, yeah, I think I probably can. Okay, then you can do it. That is the way you baby step yourself into more things. Take away the ideas of doing all the things you're supposed to do because they feel impossible. Like, you're supposed to eat 3 meals. You're supposed to exercise. You're supposed to sleep 8 hours. You're supposed to shower and get dressed and hydrate and move your body. And so when you look at that, it's so overwhelming and you don't do any of that. But pick the one thing. Can I just eat breakfast? Can I just sleep for an hour? Sometimes that's all you can do. And that honestly is the bridge to more. So I would love for you to do that. So that was the first rule. The second rule is to separate care from feeling. This one's important, and it's something I actually spend a lot of time in my workshop because it it's a mindset shift and it changes things. You don't have to feel good about your body to give it what it needs. You can be angry and still take your medication. You can hate what your body did or what happened to you and still meet its basic needs. So I want you to say to yourself, I'm doing this even though I'm angry, or even though I don't want to, I'm still doing this because I'm allowed to be angry and brush my teeth. I'm allowed to be angry with my body and still take a shower. Because here's what happens. A lot of us think that if we're still angry, we're not allowed to care for ourselves. Like we have to wait until we've forgiven our body before we're allowed to meet our needs. But that's not true. You don't have to resolve your anger first. You can still be angry and still do the things. When that voice comes up in your head that says, why should I care for this body that failed me? You can respond by saying, because I'm still living in this life and I need my body to get through it, whether I like it or not. And it's not anything inspirational, but it's the truth. About 6 weeks after I lost my twins, I had my first postpartum checkup and I did not want to go. I was so angry at my body. I wasn't angry at the doctors, but I was so confused about everything. And I felt like everyone had failed me. I didn't want to sit in that office and talk about my body like it mattered and like it was some bridge to getting back to normal. But I went anyways, not because I wanted to feel better about myself or get some information that I thought I needed, because that would somehow make me feel better, which it doesn't. I just needed to know what was happening physically so I could make informed decisions about what was next for me. I'm going to give you permission to care for your body in my workshop. If you want more support with this, be sure to sign up, navigatingbabyloss.com/workshop. So you're allowed to be angry and still take care of yourself because it just has to be done. And then the third thing is inject little teeny moments. So here's what mine was for me. I just only wanted things that were comforting. I loved a special tea that I liked, and I allowed myself to get that. There was some cozy sweaters that I got. And those were where I felt most comfortable in my body. When I was wrapped up in the sweater, I got a really luxurious blanket. Get yourself some items that are comforting. Doesn't have to be expensive, doesn't have to be a big deal, doesn't have to feel like you're rewarding yourself, but that kind of comfort will help you get back into taking care of yourself, sleeping a little better, taking care of your body. It's not about whatever your basic needs are. Think about what can feel luxurious, maybe comforting. Small things that feel good on your body and make you feel comforted. Why add more discomfort to an already unbearable situation? This isn't about loving your body necessarily. You don't have to yet. You can still be mad, but maybe stop punishing it. And I think when it clicked for me is when I did finally get to the point where I thought, I am going to buy a sweater that I feel good in. I am going to buy a pair of new jeans to feel better because I'm sick of these maternity stretch. I am going to, allow myself to buy this fancy, expensive tea. And it just felt better. It did start making you feel a little bit better. So think about that. What are some items that you enjoy that you can indulge in that feel a little bit luxurious that you can start enjoying again, and that being in your body and enjoying it? Before we wrap up, I want to be really clear about what this episode is not saying. The last thing I want is for you to think that I'm putting pressure on you or minimizing your anger. I don't do toxic positivity. I'm not telling you to just think happy thoughts or just focus on what's really good about your body and healing and all of that. Maybe you don't feel like your body deserves forgiveness right now. That's okay. I'm not saying you should get over your anger, and I'm not saying that self-care is going to fix your grief, because it won't. Nothing will. So what is this episode about? This is about giving you permission to take care of your body, even though you're frustrated with it, without requiring anything positive about it if you just can't yet. And that survival counts as success right now. That meeting one basic thing is plenty. Can you just wrap up in that blanket for 20 minutes and try to take a nap to get some sleep? Eat a half a salad just to get some nourishment in. And it doesn't mean that it's going to make everything fine. But I do know that ignoring your body and treating it like the enemy, punishing it, creates more pain for yourself. And you're already in enough pain. You don't need to add physical pain on top of it. So, can you just give yourself the basic care just to get up, get in the shower, brush your teeth? What is it for you? You're doing better than you think you are. And I see you, and I'm so proud of you. I will talk to you in the next episode. And until then, be sure to grab your seat in my workshop at navigatingbabyloss.com/workshop. I'll see you there.